Good afternoon, or ni hao, to Beth the chef. Now, I'm saying that because this is going to be a fake away special, and we're going to celebrate Chinese New Year. Now, we're a little bit late because Chinese New Year actually started on the 29th of January, but it's better late than never. So I hope everyone is well, and this year actually is the year of the snake, and Chinese tradition is, well, the year of the snake is to get rid of any bad energy and let the good in. So yes, we'll crack on, and we're going to be doing one of my favourites. It's in the top 3 along with satay and the plum pancakes, which are gorgeous. So it's a crispy chili beef and to stir fry. We're going to be making egg noodles, and it's in a gorgeous sauce. You'll find out later, but there's a little hack to how we get a gorgeous, sticky, naughty sauce with probably not half the calories, but certainly half the price of a standard takeaway. So yes, without further ado, let's cook. No, I do not know what let's cook is in Chinese, but if you do know, please comment below. Right, so I've gathered all my stuff up because the first step is for our egg noodles. And egg noodles are actually very straightforward. Just give yourself a little bit of time, a couple of hours, for it to rest in the fridge later, but of course we'll get to that stage. So yeah, 3 ingredients in here. This is enough to serve 2, by the way. In here is 65 grams of plain flour, and into the bowl I'm going to do is add an egg, because of course it's egg noodles. Add a little bit of salt. Now, not too much really, but well, about an 1/8 of a teaspoon, 1/8 to 1/6 of a teaspoon, if you really want to measure it out. And all you're going to do is beat it together with a fork. Right, so once your wet dough is formed, just pop it on a lightly floured surface, cover it in a bit of the flour, and lightly knead really for 5 to 10 minutes. And yeah, it's common sense really, but make sure it doesn't stick to the surface. Yeah, so yeah, just wrap in cling film, and in the fridge as said, and then we're going to start with our gorgeous sauce. Right, so I've gathered everything up for our sauce, and I've got the syrup, I've got dark soy sauce. Now we're going to use dark one because I did a little research on soy sauce, and it's usually dark for cooking because it's got more of a bitter and concentrated taste to it, and the light one's usually for marinating. So you bear that in mind, and all your Asian dishes should come to life. So I've got my knob of butter now. Normal butter's fine, but this one again, like last week and I'm just using it up. It's got some fresh coriander, chili and ginger in it. I've got the juice of a lemon and another little magic pot here. So there's a teaspoon of chili powder, and this one's quite a hot chili powder. Quite a large garlic clove microplaned. About half a teaspoon of ginger powder, because ginger's quite strong. Some fennel seeds, I say that's about a third of a teaspoon, just a little sprinkling. And coriander, so the coriander is 1 teaspoon of dried. Right, so I'll turn the heat on, quite a low heat really, just to melt the butter. And yeah, I'll tell you the inspiration for the behind the golden syrup. It was me and my husband were Plymouth art student life, looking in the cupboards thinking, what should we use up? It's a typical student would. And yeah, we found the syrup, we found the elements that I've got right here, and we thought let's just see what happens. And we made this gorgeous chili sauce, nice and glossy, and yes, it's been a keeper ever since. And yeah, I'll let the food talk, let the food do the magic. Now, I'm just going to say this. We've not added any salt to this, and simply because soy sauce, you don't need any additional salt. So once the butter has melted, I'm going to add the spices. Herbs and spices, as Colonel Sanders would say. Almost make a paste, a thick paste. Add some lemon juice. Should be able to smell the chili in that now. So the soy sauce, let's get it opened. Bear with, it's a new bottle. Here we are. So I can go by eye, but 4 tablespoons. That up. And for the glossiness, 4 tablespoons of your golden syrup. Now this sauce is really quite similar to a teriyaki. And there you have it. It's as simple as that. Right, so I've just got my noodle dough out, and it's been chilled for a couple hours. And because we want to roll it out quite thin, I've cut it in half. I'm going to do do it in almost 2 batches. So yeah, slightly floury surface, get a tray ready. That's just for resting once they're rolled out. And you want to roll them out pretty thin, because if you think of when you buy the egg noodles, they're quite thin and they expand. Regularly turn it and dust it with the flour. And just cut very thinly with a knife. Just done a couple here. They're about that thickness. And yeah, they're the same with the other one, and chill in the fridge for about 30 minutes. Right, so here we are, they're all on the tray. And yeah, they're fine to overlap slightly because the flour will help it not stick together, along with the fridge as well. That helps the dough. So while these are in the fridge, I'm going to prep the veg and prep the beef, and then we'll be ready to cook everything and assemble our fake away dish. I'm gonna start with sorting out our little garnish first, simply because you can reuse your pan afterwards, because you need a dry pan, and you can do the garnish later on in the process, but you would need an extra pan. And yes, I'm not a big fan of doing the dishes, to be honest. So it's one less pan, you know, that every little helps, I guess. However, any kind of stir fry or really any Asian cooking, it's always a go-to for us, toasting some nuts and sesame seeds to go on top. So that's what we're doing now. We are. In here is just some cashew nuts. Cashews or peanuts is the best. And just go by eye really, however many sesame seeds you want. Probably a good amount. And it might not look like it's doing anything at first, but when the pan does get hot, they colour very quickly. Right, now with a stir fry, it's, you know, as you know, very versatile. You can use whatever veg you want in there really. We're going with tomatoes, onion and peppers. And I just like to show you my knife. So yeah, I got this one thanks to Steve, my mother's partner for Christmas, and it's a Suneko knife. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Yeah, I love this knife. It cuts through things like butter, and I've not had to sharpen it as often. It keeps its sharpness pretty well. So I'm going to go through how I chop the veg for this, most of it julienne, but it's up to you how you like to chop your veg. So for example, the peppers. Like strips. And for the onion, just thin slice. And I use julienne for fajitas as well, because I feel like it, you cook your veg and coats in the sauces nicely, but at the same time it allows you to still have that little bit of crunch, and that's exactly what you want in stir-fry veg. And finally our tomatoes. Now I've got 2 tomatoes here, and I'm not too bothered about the tomatoes because the water content, they shrink a little more, in a way shrivel up when cooking. So like that, I'm just gonna go with rough diced. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm just going to like pre-sweat, sweat the veg off, because then it's got a little bit of heat through, it's partially cooked, and then we can, not quite as you see on telly, but get your veg in, a little crossing action. And we can bring the dish together quite efficiently. So yeah, just a bit of oil in here. The pan quite hot once again. And if there's any remaining fragrances of the nuts and the sesame seeds, they're all going to go into the veg. And I'm not going to use any seasoning because one, we've got our pungent sauce, and there's going to be quite a bit of seasoning on the coating of the beef as well. Right, so as you can see, our veg is to one side, and I just got the beef here ready to prep. Now these are just from the supermarket, but frying, or sometimes on the packet it says sizzle steaks, good for sizzling. And I'm using these because they're thin, so they're going to be great into cutting into strips. And you should be able to cook through good, along with cooking the coating well. Like one won't be substituted for the other, or the coating won't get burnt, for example. Yeah, as you can see, just cutting them into thin strips. And once this is done, I'm going to get the coating sorted. Right, so once the fat and sinew was cut off the beef, There's 250 grams there, but I suppose it depends how hungry you are. So due to that, for the coating, I've got 100 grams of corn flour. Now, this is what makes your beef nice and crispy. And to this, I'm going to add some salt. Yeah, about half teaspoon. A good bit of pepper. Again, probably the same. I just tend to go by eye, to be honest. And 5 spice. Now, even though they're the same flavours in 5 spice, some 5 spices taste different from others. But I quite like this one, the Schwartz. If you want to have a go with your own, it says onion granules, garlic granules, ground star anise, ground ginger, ground fennel seed, ground cinnamon, black pepper and ground cloves. So I imagine you would need a food processor. There we go. Again, half a teaspoon. And just mix it in. Be able to smell that. The main thing you smell from that is the star anise. Which is fine because star anise is an awesome flavour. And generally coat your beef in it, and then we'll go off to frying them. We'll get our noodles on and assemble our takeaway dish. So yeah, just make sure that it's generously coated. Right, so gather up your ingredients, your noodles, your sauce and everything. And I've just got a pan of water on for the noodles. And while this is just getting up to the boil, I'm going to start frying our beef. Once your pan is at the boil, it won't be long now, yeah, put your noodles in, but they should take 3 to 4 minutes, and then we're going to strain them. I'm going to put them in the bowls and then top the noodles with everything. Right, so just got my noodles into 2 plates, and the beef is browning off pretty good, so I can now add my veg. The veg in now. once you're starting to get a good bit of heat in there, going to add our lovely sauce. And mix that through. Right, take off the heat. And there you have it. So we have my crispy chili beef stir fry with our homemade egg noodles and our nice sesame and nut topping. So yep, spread the word, Beth to Jeff, and join us next week where we are going to, in a way, bring peach Malba to the year 2025. So we're going to do a raspberry ripple panna cotta, grill some lovely peaches, and make some nice vanilla twirls, and I'll show you my lovely twirl moulds. So yeah, bon appetit.